bring Chad Millman in from the Action Network. He joins us now on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Welcome back, Chad. What's going on, my man?
I am doing very well. It's good to be with you guys again. The Birds, very interesting game. All of a sudden, like, the NFC East is so bad that from a gambling perspective, it creates the most interesting lineups in terms of handicapping, and people are decidedly split in every way.
Yeah, well, it opened up +3, Giants home dog, and now it's going up to 4. I mean, this Giants team's coming off of a win finally. They almost beat Tom Brady a couple of weeks ago. They should have beat the Eagles. I feel like that team has a little bit of momentum, and yet the Lions go in the opposite direction.
Not only that, if I asked you, who is the best team against the spread in the NFL?
Well, it seems like it's got to be one of these two teams, and I know it's not the Eagles.
Well, you nailed it. Your powers of deduction and your years in radio have served you well, because it 100% is the New York Football Giants, which is astonishing to me because, like, they make me sick to bet on. And I actually don't think Daniel Jones is a very good quarterback. In fact, I think he doesn't deserve to get any more credit for what he is doing than, say, the lack of credit Mitch Trubisky got sort of at the same time in his career, at sort of the same sort of progression. He makes bad decisions. He fumbles the ball too much. He throws the ball into coverage at the wrong times. He holds the ball for too long. Like, I'm just not impressed with him as a quarterback. And I am shocked that sort of he doesn't get more criticism, because everyone just says he's still young, he's learning, he's the future. And, like, how much longer is he going to learn? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's getting to the point where he's had enough dropbacks, you kind of know if he's going to be any good or not. And so I'm not surprised the line is moving up. To be truthful, 62% of the money, I'm looking at the Action Network app right now, 62% of the money is coming in on the Eagles. And when there's that much money coming in at that preponderance of volume, that's usually a sign that professional bettors have come back in. So they're seeing something clearly that they like the Eagles here.
All right, that's good to know. The Eagles, they're getting healthy. That's one thing. But for them to be trusted enough to be a road favorite seems to be a little interesting, considering the Giants had them beat in Philly just 2 weeks ago. All right, another interesting game on my plate here, Dolphins-Chargers. This Dolphins team all of a sudden, is in the playoff hunt. They're playing good football. They won a big game last week. They're tough at home, and the spread went from -3 down to 1. I mean, what gives there?
This is a classic. Let me say one more thing about the Eagles, by the way. That game right now has more volume than any other game on the board, and it's a Sunday 1 o'clock game. Like, that shows you the level of interest in this.
Huh.
So looking at the Chargers and Dolphins, this is a classic pros-Joes game. And what I mean by this is the pros are all over the Chargers, and the Joes are all over the Dolphins. And the Joes being the squares, the public, the non-professionals, right? Because this has what's called a reverse line move. The line was at Dolphins -3. The majority of bets are still coming in on the Dolphins, but the money is coming in on the Chargers. And that amount of money and sort of the faces that the bookmakers see, in this case, the accounts that they're following, those are professional bettors that they have a lot of respect for. So that's why the line has moved from -3 to -1. It's not dissimilar from last night's game. You had the Colts and the Titans. You had the Colts on the road who they opened as 2.5-point dogs. And, like, it slowly shifted because all the professional money came in on Indianapolis, and you saw what happened. I have been on the side of the Dolphins in this one. And everybody, I'm telling you, like, the Action Network folks, they all love the Chargers here. I just think this game comes down to coaching, and Brian Flores is a better coach than Anthony Lynn, or as people at Action Network call him, D'Anthony Quinn, because he seems to find a way to lose games in the most inopportune ways. To me, that is about coaching. And where, like, a lot of the guys are saying the Chargers have bad luck, the Dolphins have good luck, that's due for a regression. I think in this case, the luck equates to bad coaching.
I definitely can't wait for that game. It's definitely one of the better games on the schedule. But how about the Cardinals at home against Buffalo? It's a 2.5 point spread for Arizona. The Bills with an impressive win last week against Seattle, and the Cardinals went head-to-head with the Dolphins. So how do you feel this one playing out?
I like the Cardinals here a lot. I just think they're the right side. And I think what you got last week was a Bills team that sort of caught a perfect storm. They looked incredibly good against the team in the Seahawks that may have a historically bad defense. Like, we had a story on Action Network yesterday that sort of analyzes the Seahawks defense. Very possible they end the season as the worst defense in NFL history. And that's not even like an exaggeration. That is just a statistical fact. So they got a really bad defense to make Josh Allen, who had been struggling, look really good. And they got Russell Wilson to turn the ball over 4 times. So they didn't get that classic Russell Wilson comeback. They just weren't pressure tested. I think the Cardinals will pressure test them. 67% of the money coming in on the Cardinals right now. That tells you what the wise guys think. So I'll be back in the Cardinals.
All right. So Tom Brady and the Bucs look terrible on prime time, and now they're a 6-point road favorite. So I feel like everybody is like they're going to bounce back. Carolina's been feisty, though. For them to be a 6-point home dog seems to be a enticing game one way or the other.
It's rock and a hard place, right? Like Tom Brady, no one is better against the spread off a loss than Tom Brady. Teddy Bridgewater, who I've been calling Teddy Covers, like he's as good against the spread as a starter as anybody who's played. So it's a really difficult one to suss out. I think Christian McCaffrey not playing is a blow. I think that the Panthers defense is just not very good. And I do have a lot of faith in sort of the Buccaneers being able to, pardon the pun, right the ship. So I would back the Buccaneers here.
All right. One last one that we'll throw your way before you give us your favorite game of the week. This might be it. Maybe. I don't know. Bill Belichick, a 7.5-point underdog. It opened at home. I mean, when was the last time the Patriots were any sort of underdog at home, let alone a touchdown this week against the Ravens?
So I liked this game at 7. I think when it gets off the key number of 7, I'm not as interested. And I liked the Ravens at -7. Neither team is looking great. And I'm surprised at how much the Ravens are struggling, really surprised. But this Patriots team, they're just terrible. And you don't get credit for scoring 30 points against the Jets and sneaking out a victory. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't get credit for scoring a lot of points against the Seattle Seahawks, which they did earlier in the year, because we're seeing the Seahawks be one of the worst defenses in the NFL. That's what's so fun about getting sort of the value of hindsight, right? Like we're 8 games into the season, 9 games, whatever it is for each team. And you can see, all right, was that a quality win? Was that a quality game? Or is that team actually not very good in this part of the game? And you see that with Seattle. So, like, the things that we have been giving credit to Cam Newton and the Seahawks and the Patriots for, they probably don't deserve. So I like the Ravens at 7. I don't like them at 7.5 because I don't want to have to cover the hook.
All right, we're talking with Chad Millman from the Action Network. Make sure you check out actionnetwork.com so you can kind of shop lines, whatever app you like to use. Maybe you have multiple apps and you like to see who has the best number. You can do that at actionnetwork.com. All right, so, Chad, your favorite game this week is?
I really love the Niners against the Saints. Not only that, I might take a little bite of the Niners on the money line.
Hey, now.
I think, well, look, Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, and he's proven that week after week with a team of scrubs, really. And Nick Mullins, a quarterback, has been playing as well as Jimmy G. And so I don't think you're losing that much, and I don't think you're getting the credit for Nick Mullins being that good. And you're getting receivers back, especially Deebo Samuel. And I think Deebo Samuel, like a lot of times, you're not going to get sort of point spread value for a wide receiver, but you are going to get, like, in the game plan to see Deebo Samuel as a change of pace coming out of the backfield on reverses, on sort of those interesting, like, jet sweeps that they're running now. he's really big, really hard to tackle, and I think he makes defenses have to run less aggressively towards the ball because you don't know if he's coming around the backside. And I think it just opens up their offense, and I don't think that's being accounted for right now.
By the way, if you are a William Hill guy, you have plus 360 on the money line. That's the best number on that one, 350 most other places. But at William Hill, plus 360, DraftKings, BetMGM, plus 350. So there you go. That could be a big winner for you. A little plus 360 on the money line action, Chad Millman says. All right. There you go. Week 10, just a little taste for you guys out there. Go out there, do your research, use actionnetwork.com, compare those lines, and, of course, bet responsibly, everybody. Chad will be back next Friday. Week 11. It's flying by, man. It's flying. It's going too fast.
Amen. I agree. It's too sad. I want it to continue at least until, April.
Well, I think college football should actually, we were just discussing this beforehand, they just should play the regular season all the way out through December and then play bowl games in January and February. No one would complain.
No one would complain at all. And, for whatever reason that, honestly, if they just said, you know what, we're shutting it down until spring, I'd be fine with that too. Give me football in the spring. Give me college football in April and May. I'd love that.
It would be fantastic. I don't know why they're putting these hey, we got to finish the season by this date so we get – no. Just push all those bowl games into January, play on Friday nights, play on Saturday mornings before the NFL playoff games. Give us more. Give it more. ActionNetwork.com will cover it all. I know you will. All right, Chad. Appreciate it, man.
All right, folks. Take care.
He's always the best right here on a Friday. Good to have him with us. And, of course, he, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline.